Chapter 1073. Select. After hanging up the video call with Chen Mo, Khan had a dark face. This kind of expression is hard to see on him. As a superior, he can control his emotions, and his usual decision-making is calm enough. It seems that everything can be calm, even in the face of the pressure of the Black Pupil civilization. He can calm down and think about the pros and cons. But when he makes a decision, he will act vigorously. It was his decision to decisively execute the intelligence personnel arranged by the traitor and the two god-level civilizations. The moment he decides to come out, it means that he and the two civilizations are torn apart. Originally thought that the balance was expected. Who would have thought? The entry of the Dark Forest civilization let his hopeful marching ant group into an unprecedented crisis. Now he has to face a choice again. The 10 Cities Alliance exists in name only, and he chooses to form an alliance with the Black Eye civilization. He may step down, or even be judged by the Black Eye civilization, in exchange for the peace of Zymo City, and then another person will come on stage. Those words of Chen Mo were also what he thought. Lianqing www.wsx5.cn. But it was always unpleasant to be said by him without any cover. Choosing to ally with the Black Pupil civilization, they are at a disadvantage. There may be temporary security, but in the long run, it is definitely not a wise choice. Hitomi is ambitious, has the ambition to annex the universe, and will never be willing to ally with these weak people. As Chen Mo said, they may be used as cannon fodder, as the pioneers of the pupils competing in the universe, to consume other strong opponents. If you choose the Black Pupil civilization, their first opponent is the marching ants who are now allied with them. How ironic. The marching ants are a good ally. Don't worry about betrayal, because the crisis faced by the marching ants is greater than them. Once they betrayed, they will lose both sides, and then they will all be swallowed by the god-level civilization that is eye-catching. But now the marching ants are in a critical situation, and if they are not handled well, they may instantly overturn. If you continue to ally with the marching ants, wait for the marching ants to have problems. At that time, they will not even have the qualifications to be the cannon fodder of the god-level civilization. Only the country will be destroyed. Ling Zai fell into contemplation after listening to Khan's account. Her expression was relatively calm. If we allied with the Black Eye civilization, what will happen to the marching ants? Destruction. Khan uttered 2 words. After thinking about it, something was wrong, and then said, or retreat to the small universe. They have a small universe? What about us? How do we end up? We may be able to live, but become a kind of dog of the Black Pupil civilization. Let anyone bite whoever bites. Khan said with a gloomy face. He did not want to say these words, but the reality is so cruel. Ling Zai was unmoved by this description. After the marching ants disappear, who is bordering us? How many blinks of Khan's eyes said, White Star Civilization. If accidentally, there may be the 2 brothers of Dark Forest civilization. We are caught between several god-level civilizations. Once they start. Khan was silent. He did not dare to think further. Seeing that Khan didn't speak, Ling Zai continued, we will become the most tragic battlefield here, and may even become the ruins of the universe war. The citizens of it, I don't need to say more. On war and combat, Ling Zai, as a general star, sees more thoroughly than Khan. Anyway, and vertical are the same end. Why don't we take a gamble? Ling Zai said. Gambling on marching ants? Do we have other ways to bet? There is a gap between the strength of us and the marching ants. But to him, they are their more powerful friends. And in the Black Pupil civilization, what are we? A dog like me? I don't want to be their dog. It's the first time I live. Why should I be his dog? Moreover, we may not lose. If the Nebula Alliance and the marching ants are in one mind, our 3 emerging forces can't break their wrists against the 3 god-level civilizations. Also, are we sure that Chen Mo really has no other cards? Khan was silent for a long time. The White Star civilization is really clever. Fatty Luo bit his leg, full of emotion. I'm afraid the marching ants are in trouble this time. Xian stared at the star map, her eyes gleaming. Is there a way to break the game? The dozing young man next to him was holding a doll, and nothing happened. Fatty Luo put down the fleshy leg in his hand, picked up a tissue and wiped his mouth, then said, "The key lies in the Nebula Alliance and the 10 Cities Alliance. The White Star Civilization and the Nebula Alliance have come into contact." Tonking also puts pressure on the 10 Cities Alliance. If the two families turn to each other, or choose not to help at this time, the marching ants will be over. Not necessarily. Ziyun thought for a while, shook his head and popped out 2 words. Not necessarily. Fatty Luo looked at Ziyun incomprehensibly. Zizong, who was dozing off, woke up for a while and looked at Ziyun. Does the Star Master have a way to break the game? When there is no one, don't call me Star Master, Ziyun said calmly. It's just a title, it's all the same. Fatty Luo didn't care about Ziyun's words. It's not me, it's Chen Mo. Ziyun was very sure. Why so sure? Aren't you curious about where I went some time ago? I was in the marching ant group, Chen Mo's hometown. As soon as he said this, Fatty Luo stared in disbelief. Zizong, who was dozing off, woke up in an instant, staring at Ziyun incomparably gossiping. You won't go over to be his wife, will you? Fatty Luo's eyelids twitched, and he slapped Zizong's head with a fan-like palm. Sleep you, don't speak, don't speak. No one will treat you as dumb. Ziyun was speechless about Zizong's thoughts. I lived there for a while and experienced the civilized environment in which Chen Mo grew up. A trace of recollection appeared in Ziyun's eyes. There, I saw Chen Mo's power. Have you seen his secret weapon or special technique? I have experienced the special technology once. Ziyun remembered that after Chen Mo had seen all her memory and privacy, her calm face was slightly unnatural. What kind of special technology? Zizong held the doll with a smile on his face. This time, even Fatty Luo was a little gossip. It's about superpower. Ziyun didn't take their gaze seriously, and her expression returned to her former calm. He is always so confident and unfathomable, so he must have a whole card this time. Fatty Luo thought about the information in Ziyun's words. What should we do? Zizong asked. Make some trouble for Bai Crossing, Ziyun said firmly. After Chen Mo hung up the phone, he took a deep breath. Lan and others in the war room frowned. They are thinking, what does calm mean? Do you want to turn your back on the Alliance and go to the Black Pupil Civilization? They have to have this concern, because the agreement between them and Khan does not have an advantage compared to the conditions given by the Black Pupil Civilization. In joint operations, they need command power, while the Black Pupil Civilization does not. In addition, what they can provide, the Black Eye Civilization can also provide, including resisting the White Star Civilization, and can do better. If Khan abandons the alliance agreement, they will have no small trouble. Should you prepare to withdraw troops from the Kulu Galaxy? Lan asked. Chen Mo shook his head and said, no, but pay attention to the movement of Ximoshing. Khan is hesitating and has no real answer yet. Then what are we doing now? Kaijin next to Lan asked. Wait. Chen Mo said after thinking. What are you waiting for? When the Nebula Alliance's answer is unsure about the attitude of his ally, it is not appropriate to act rashly. Otherwise, once the warhead is mobilized and they turn against them, the marching ants will be the real trouble. First, focus on dealing with the 2 brothers of the Dark Forest Civilization. The White Star Civilization has no direct contact with us. Once we do it, there is still time for us to respond. Even if Khan turns, their warhead mobilizes to our side, there is time to respond. At the same time, prepare for the worst. As Chen Mo said, all they can do now is to wait. Wait for the situation to become clear, and to confirm the enemy and us, so that they can use their fists without scruple. But they must also prepare for the worst. The fastest preparation is for Khan and the Nebula Alliance to rebel. There was a brief silence in the combat room, and then quickly got busy, preparing for the worst plan. The waiting time is very tormenting, but every life in the marching ant group is tense and afraid to relax, especially the frontline generals. They are not allowed to fail. Once they fail, they will face an endless abyss. Soon, news came from the Nebula Alliance. and Tu Yun rejected the conditions of the White Star Civilization.